Live from the KHOU11 studios, it's Great Day Houston. And now, here's your host, Deborah Duncan.
Welcome back to Great Day. My next guest was a local legend in the Astrodome for 8 seasons as the quarterback of the Houston Oilers. But today, he's traded in his Love Ya Blue football pads for a Texas-style tailgater apron. Please welcome Dan Pastorini.
Hey, Deborah. How are you, dear?
Good to see you. I'll switch places with you.
Okay.
You're over here closer to the stove there.
Let me get this going here.
I was talking to my husband earlier today, and he said, you know, although we're so excited about our Houston Texans right now.
Absolutely.
He said that, but he says it reminds him of that excitement that came with the Houston Oilers at a time when, you know, back at that time, Houston was not known to the rest of the country so much. But what got their attention is our economy was doing well when the rest of the country wasn't, kind of like today, right? And then the thing that really galvanized the community was those Houston Oilers.
Well, you know, we were kind of a similar city. We were blue-collar workers as far as the city was concerned, and the team was kind of that way, too. And you know, the city really identified with us, and you could see us out in public and everything else. It's a little bit different today. These guys have their entourages and they're multimillionaires and whatnot.
They're more like celebrities today.
Yeah, they really are. They're like stars in Hollywood. But you know, I like this team. I like the ownership. I like the way the city's rallying around it, and I'm excited. I think they're going to do well this year. I think they're going all the way.
Wow, that would be fantastic. Speaking of going all the way, you have a Super Bowl ring.
Well, yeah, but that was kind of a bad time in my life with the Oakland Raiders. I broke my leg in the 5th game of the year. Jim Plunkett took over and, you know, took them to the Super Bowl. And that's when I had my whole thing with Mr. Al Davis, which has been documented in my book. And it was kind of a bad time for me. In fact, I donated that ring to charity. And it did a lot better doing for the charity than being on my hand.
You know, I always say our toughest times teach us our greatest lessons.
You betcha.
And you kind of outline some of those things in the book. And so what is probably the greatest lesson you learned with football kind of being the backdrop?
The lesson I learned, you know, football taught me good discipline. Discipline in life, being able to pick yourself up and get back in the race type of thing. But it also makes you tough, and life is a very tough journey. It's not a destiny, it's a journey. And some of the things along the way are just things you got to learn and live with.
Yeah. All right. So today, you are a big hunter. You love cooking. If you hunt, you got to love cooking.
I do.
And so what are you doing for us right now?
Well, actually, you know, this is something that a friend of mine, Mike Feldman, taught me about. These are called veal sliders, and or not veal sliders, but tenderloin sliders. And they're very simple to cook. They take about 5 minutes to cook. You put them on a nice little bun like this, and you are able to have, instead of hamburgers and having to mess with hamburgers, I'll put that over there, and you can try that.
All right.
It's very simple to use and simple to do. You just get a nice filet roast like this, and then you can slice them real thin. The best burgers in the world.
You got that horseradish sauce on there. That's
got a little horseradish sauce.
That's really good.
And then naturally, we put the seasoning on there as well. So, and that being said, let me get another one here.
Also tender too.
Well, that's the nice part about the filet. The filet meat is the most tender part of the whole beef.
Some good, like, tailgating action going on right here.
Exactly. This is good for the tailgating. Now let's try it with this and see how you like the...
Oh, now you got a little seasoning on there. This
is the magic dust. This is our seasoning, our Texas-style rub, which has done very well. In Texas, we've won a lot of awards. We've won some Grand Champion awards. We're very proud of it. And we spun that off to our Hickory flavor, and we've got our garlic and herb spice.
Yeah, this is special team stuff right here.
That's the special team stuff.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay,
yes, sir.
Good. As long as you approve, then I'm good.
Yeah, touchdown. Touchdown.
Right.
Right here. How did you decide to get in the food?
Actually, my folks are in the restaurant business for 37 years. I keep telling the Carrabas and the Mandolas, I said, you know, if I was smart, I'd have had my parents down here. Nobody ever heard of you guys. But they're good friends of mine, and we kid each other a lot, and I love them, and their restaurants are fabulous. But I had 37 years in the restaurant business, and then we put this thing together. A friend of mine had a restaurant out in California. We had a Christmas for Children's event every year at his restaurant where all our friends in the racing industry and car shows would bring their cars and big toys around, and the admittance was an unwrapped toy for kids. And then he and I had a little friendly competition in the kitchen, and I had my father's recipe, he had his recipe, we mixed them together and came up with this, and the rest is history.
Yeah, because sometimes we run away from what we grow up in. You know, your parents could have been in the business, we run away from, you were running on the football field, but you run away from what we grow up in, but sometimes it just comes full circle.
It does come full circle, and it's kind of nice to be back home. It's fun to create a product that everybody likes, and once they taste it, you know, it flies off the shelves. So keep tasting it, folks, and keep asking for it.
Okay, back to football.
Okay.
The Texans, you said you think they're going to go all the way. What is it that this team has this time that they didn't have last year?
They have a lot of swagger, and they have a lot of the things that we had, I think, back in the day. In fact, they've got a little Love You Blue there with Wade Phillips and Gary Kubiak. Gary Kubiak, I don't think a lot of you know this, but he was my ball boy at training camp in San Angelo, Texas, when he was like 13 years old. So I'm glad I taught him well, and he listened to me, and he's doing a good job over there. But no, they've got a really smart group over there. They've got great talent. I mean, there's J.J. Watt. I'm so glad I'm not playing football against a man like that. I mean, I played against the best in the business. But
you got hurt a couple of times. In fact, the jacket that they used today to protect it. Tell folks that story who might not know about that.
The flak jacket was derived from me being the guinea pig. I broke 3 ribs against Pittsburgh, and then for the playoffs in 1978, Byron Donzies came in and made this flak jacket for me, and it made me able to play through the playoffs that year. So that's what all the quarterbacks are wearing today. And the reason you have instant replay in the game was a very famous pass that wasn't a touchdown to Mike Renfro in 1979 championship game against Pittsburgh. That is the reason you have instant replay in the game today.
There you go. So the rest is history, as we say. All right. I can't stop but staring at the stuffing.
That is an old family recipe. That is the Pastorini's Italian sausage cornbread stuffing. And I'm looking around. I need a spoon. I know
you keep talking. I'm going to find something.
We don't have a spoon.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I brought everything else out of my kitchen.
If it's food, I'll find something that works.
That'll work.
And
just like
there we go. Right here.
That's it.
All right. You explain what that is right there.
Okay, so we've got. Isn't that great? This is just like Mama did it.
Yeah, really good.
That's just how Mom did it, right there. Perfect. Now this has got Italian sausage, and you cook the sausage separately, but you've got onion, you've got carrot, celery, parsley, garlic. And you slice all that up very thinly. You chop the parsley up with the garlic, and then you kind of cook it and blanch it a little bit. And then, get a bigger scoop.
Well, I'm doing the best I can right now.
You get the ingredients there, and you put the meat and everything together, and then I put an egg in there, then some Parmesan cheese, and then break up the cornbread, mix it all up together, and then I use this spice on it, but I think the garlic and herb spice would be just as good, or maybe even a little better. But I also put rosemary, sage, thyme, the ingredients of Italian seasoning, and then put a little clove, nutmeg, cinnamon, and allspice.
That is a meal in itself. That is delicious.
It is. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to wrap up with, I know everybody always comes up to you and they have their Oilers story for you. Oh. I was in high school in San Antonio, and we had a great band at John Marshall High School, Rams, right?
You did.
And we got chosen to come and play the halftime for one of the Oilers games. We spelled Oilers out in the field and the whole bit, and we were so proud. We marched off the field, and I was busy playing around with my flute, and all of a sudden the chute opens, y'all came running out. Earl Campbell knocked me over. So that's my brush with fame.
You're one of many, Deborah.
Yeah, one of many that he knocked over, and at least I was able to stand back up. But Dan, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
You laid the foundation here in this city, and we still love you blue.
Thank you, dear. Appreciate it. Nice to see you again. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you. In fact, not only Merry Christmas, but can you come to my house and make this?
Absolutely.
Yes, or we'll go to your house.
Absolutely.
Either way. If you'd like to get some of Dan's special sauces and secret recipes, you can just log on to our website, greatdayhouston.com. Well, when it comes to